Hello again, Reb Ecca here. Welcome back to my channel. Today for Mixed Media Frenzy, it is the hop. So we have invited a whole bunch of our crafty friends. You can join the hop. It's the last Friday of every month, and we post it on our Facebook group. So I'll have that linked down below with all of our regular Friday creatives and some new people that are playing along this week. So this is the lift that we will all be doing. It is from Creative CCR and it is beautiful. So I actually seen the flowers, and I know that I have this old Stampin' Up! Stamp set that I am going to use this one to recreate those flowers. And then there's little flowers, so I have the petite petals, which is an old Stampin' Up! So I'm going to pull those stamps in to create the flowers today. I'm going to go ahead and do just one photo of me, my husband, and my son in Atlanta at the wedding, my brother's wedding. So I want to get that documented. And then I also noticed in the sketch there's like some other stamping going on, so I brought in my two favorite stamp sets. I have several stamp sets that I really like to use when I'm trying to get a mixed media grungy background. They're very old Stampin' Up! Stamp sets. This is the Timeless Textures and the Ghoulish Grunge. This was a Halloween one, but I like these three you can use. Like the blood dripping, I don't know if I would use that because I can get that with, sprays, and the spider web, that is obviously very Halloweenish. So we've got those as well. For both of those flower stamp sets, I have the punches, which I've brought out. And just a white piece of cardstock. And then I have this close to my heart stencil. It's a heart one, so I'm going to get, instead of using this back here, we're going to do some hearts. So what I'm thinking is, what it looks like is there's supposed to be a heart back there. So I'm going to kind of do this center band, and then I'm going to get this portion right in this area with the stencil and some glazes and paste. I haven't picked out any of my mixed media yet. And then I'm going to do some of the stamping and stuff over here. So it's not going to, I think I'm going to do the stamping first in this area and down here, and then I'll come in with the glazes. So I won't be doing that all on camera because it's just not enough time today for me. So we're going to get started, and I will do a little bit here and there, but I've got to pick everything out first, and then I'll come back and show you my update. Real quick, I did want to say that I am going to be using this Hip Kits collection. I have no idea what month it's from, but I'm going to say it's a summer month because there are a lot of summer and family and vacation themed. Now, obviously, we took the trip in November, but I feel like I can pull in a lot of these elements from here because it's like family vacation and stuff. So I'm definitely going to be pulling this collection in to use on today's layout. But I just wanted to add that real quick. Okay, so I took the stencil, which is not cleaned off yet, but I did want to show you guys that it looks really weird when you put it on, because I just did kind of the little heart, add a little bit more red up here, and then I came in with the orange color. But when you take it off, it looks pretty cool. So it doesn't, it's going to kind of mimic this over here. But I used my two blender brushes, and I pulled out some Distress Oxides. So the pink is the picked raspberry, and the orange is the spiced marmalade. So I wanted to use those. So I'm trying to get the mood and feel for this as well. Even though we have blue on in the picture, I didn't want to go with the normal, typical Becky chooses blue for her mixed media. Then I did just take the Timeless Texture stamp set, and I just pulled out this little, I don't know what that would be called, little grid pattern, and my Close to My Heart black ink, and just did this portion here. And then I have pulled in some Jewel Drops in Honeysuckle, Lemoncello, and Orange Marmalade, because those are the three colors that I am going with. And I do have some Heidi Swapp Color Shine in Butter, because I wanted some, I'm going to do some, even though it's not on here, I'm going to do some yellow splatters all over. But for these big stripes of color going through here, I'm going to pull in some chroma glazes from Brutus Monroe and a glitter glaze from Brutus Monroe. So we've got the sherbet, the daffodil, and the raspberry. So I'm just going to kind of roll it on through, and then we're going to come in and we're going to stamp and punch out the flowers and, you know, do a whole bunch of fun stuff. But I did even notice, because usually you guys, I like look at this and I see this strip and I don't pay any attention to the fact that this is kind of a cross layout. So they've got this big vertical element that's going to go right here, and they have flowers up here at the top that run off the page and flowers at the bottom that run off the page, and then they have through the sides. So I do want to try to mimic that as best as possible, but obviously it's going to look different because we all have our own designs. But I really do love this, and I love the way that the pink and the orange are like, you know, it's the spiced marmalade isn't orange, but it does get lighter and then mixes with the pink, and it makes just really pretty color through there. My photo is going to go kind of down here like this is as well. So we're going to keep going, and I will be back to show you my progress. Now how I'm going to do these is just with my palette knife, and I'm just going to spread it on right in a line right there, and then it's going to have to dry. I did toy around with the idea of using my Nouveau Drops like that, so not real sure. I might even still do that, but I am thinking that I want to just do some drops and some splatters around, so I'm probably going to splatter first, and I can actually just do that while I'm talking to you guys. My yellow is almost gone, and the reason that I chose this color is because it is a very bright, vibrant yellow color. So, but yeah, like literally, we are almost gone. You see all the little dried stuff, like there is like nothing left in it. You can see that, so I can get just a little bit, but it's not, you know, it's not completely empty yet, but it's definitely on its way there, isn't it? So I am just kind of tipping it, trying to not get all these little dried pieces up here. But this was like the first, the Hottie Swap Color Show, you guys, was my first branch into the spray mixed media world. I picked it up at Tuesday morning. I picked up a whole bunch of these little bottles and fell in love with them. And as you can see, I used them a lot. This will be the second or third of these small bottles that I've used up. But as in everything, then you get to, you know, trying new products, and everything seems to, you just want to play with all the new shiny stuff and you forget about these. So, but this is a very bright yellow, which I wanted to go with because of the orange and the pinks. I did want to get just a little bit. I am actually toying with the idea of adding some water. Let's see if we can do that. I'm just going to add some water in there because this one's done. See if we can get some use out of this. So I did add some water, so we will shake it up and see if we can get some more splatters going. There we go. I don't know. It's not going to be as vibrant, but, well, there you go. Just a big old drop, right? I'm kind of liking that. Alright, so we are going to let that dry. I'm going to throw that away. But we're going to let that dry, clean the mess up, and I do really like the big splatters. I needed one up there, but it's going to be okay. We're going to let this work around, and then usually I come in with the Nouveau Drops, and I kind of do like I mimic the splatter, so I will do that as well. Clean off my stamp. I'm going to clean off my stencil. We're going to let this dry. I am going to kind of just come in and do one quick roll so that it's not going to take forever to dry. But yeah, that's looking pretty cool. So we do have a lot of mixed media going on, but we're not done because it's Mixed Media Frenzy and we have to have crazy amounts of mixed media. We really don't. But that is my plan. So I will be back and show you a little bit more. Okay, so I decided, like I said, to go with this one. And I stamped those all out. That's more than I need, but I don't like the rubber stamps. I like the clear stamps, so I had to get it like really inky before it would start prepping. And then I don't know if you guys can see, but I was getting so much ink on there that I was like splattering. Right? Fun, fun. So, and then I figured this one would look the best inside there. I don't know. We're going to definitely find out. So, I figured I would get a few of these stamped as well. I'll talk to you. So yes, today is a hop. And see, it doesn't stamp it real clear at first, so I just kind of keep going until I get some nice coverage. And I think I probably just need to hold it longer. I am getting ink everywhere though. And this is just some regular old 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Nothing special. Just using up these stamps. I'm using up that old cardstock that I had from when I used to make a ton of cards. And you guys, I don't make cards anymore. I think I finally found the trick. We only stamped 400, but turn the block so it doesn't do that. Yeah, I don't make cards at all. Like, not even slightly. I mean, I have so many that I've pre-made from years ago that I just kind of use those. And I probably have way more than I need. But I am going to embellish just a little bit extra. I keep forgetting to turn the stamp. You gotta turn the stamp so it doesn't show the pattern of the ink pad. So if you guys broke out the mixed media today, are you playing with any mixed media? Are you playing along? If you do play along, please hop over to the Facebook group and definitely show us what you created with the lift for today. I think that's more than enough. Oh, yay. Go me. It has been a week, you guys. We have a hop coming up in February on Groundhog's Day that is being hosted by Jackie, JQ Crafty, who also just had her 1,000 subscriber hop, and I combined the two. It's a mess. And Jackie's birthday is on Groundhog's Day, so it's just very messed up. And I combined the two. My brain, like, I started talking about it, and yeah. So I'm like, big thumbs up for the nerd alert here. So I have went ahead and started to put the glaze on. I've got the glitter glaze, which is in the raspberry from Brutus Monroe, and then the sherbet. The glitter glaze is completely dry. Mixed media is all about the layers, you guys. You have to let the layers dry in between adding more on. Like, you can do it all at once, but in my experience, it never turns out the way I want it to because if I don't let the layers dry. So if you noticed, I put on the stencil work. Obviously it's stencil and it's ink blending, so it doesn't need a lot of time to dry, but I do allow a couple minutes for the ink to set. However, being Distress Oxide ink, anything wet being put on top of it is going to make it react. But I wanted to let it set just a little bit, and you will see it does start to react in here a little bit, but not a whole bunch where the wet media is. Then I went ahead and did my stamping. I used the black ink, gave it some time to soak in so that when I put the wet ink on top, or the wet glazes on top of it, it wasn't going to smear them. Then I did the splatters. You guys seen that? I gave that ample time to dry so that you can still see where those big drops and everything are underneath the glazes. And I put on very, very thin layers because I wanted you to be able to see the mixed media underneath. Like this right here has 3 different layers on it. So it's got the glitter glaze, it's got the stamp, actually 4. It has the blended hearts through the stencil, the black stamp, then the glitter glaze, and then the chroma glaze, which I'm really loving it. So you can see the things peeking in between. So I'm going to give the sherbet chroma glaze ample time to dry, and then we're going to come in with the daffodil, and I'm going to fill this up, and then I will have all of my flowers punched, and like I'm going to show you a little trick to make them sit up a little bit. We're going to get the photo trimmed, we're going to get that on here, and I think it's really turning out very pretty. I love using the grungy look with colors, like, because this is a very grunge looked layout lift that we're doing today. So using the fun, pretty colors, like obviously, I feel like these are paint strokes that she has going on the lift. Like I do really feel like those are paint strokes as to where I'm using a palette knife and just schlepping it on, right? So, I do like it though, and I think the yellow is going to finish it off with a strip of yellow here and a strip of yellow there, and then I'm actually going to do a little bit more. I'm going to bring in some black and splatter it with black once everything is dry. That'll be the last portion of the background. I am going to still use Nouveau Drops, but that'll be the last part of the mixed media because these guys need a long time to dry. Otherwise, I'll stick my hands in it, and well, you guys know what happens then. So yeah, so this is where we're at. I am going to run the yellow off the page like I ran the glitter glaze off the page, and it is dry. And the one thing that I like about the glitter glaze is you can run your finger over it and get no glitter. Like the glitter cardstock and stuff from companies, not my fave. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and let this dry, and I'm going to work on something else. Alright, so everything is dry, and I have attached my picture because I wanted to give it just a little bit of time to dry. I have popped it up on some foam, matted it with some white cardstock, the same white cardstock that I stamped and punched all these guys in. And now we're just going to go ahead and finish doing the embellishments. I do see there's some paper strips in there. I'm not feeling that it's going to call for that in my layout. But I have glued the centers into each of these because that's not centered. Well, this guy's going to get tucked in case anybody wanted to know. We are going to go ahead and, because there is one tucked right there. And then we have, okay, so this is what I was talking about, just kind of rolling them up, which I didn't do it on that one, but that's just totally fine. I'm going to just pull that guy off, and we'll get rid of him properly because he's not, you know, he wasn't looking his best. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that guy off right there. We're going to add a little glue, and then we're going to tuck this guy right back under there. I'm going to grab another one, and all I'm doing is just rolling my fingers up a little bit. And we're going to get this guy right over here. Now obviously this will probably flatten in the layout, or in the album, but I'm okay with that. So we're just going to kind of work your way through. So I really had fun creating this, and it didn't take very long for it to dry at all. I am going to kind of just maneuver things a little bit differently because I don't want to cover up some of that mixed media. I like the stamping and the way that it kind of worked underneath the glaze. Whoa. Okay, and then these guys are also going to get cut. I will probably have to come and trim them down a little bit more, but I didn't really want them to, I didn't want to get ink all over the place. And we need another guy over here. He sits right there. Then you do have this little guy right here. So I put some of the glaze down here as well. And as always, I've punched out and cut way too many, but it's okay. I trim this one off a little bit so that I can tuck him right there. Then we have all these little extras. And then I'm going to come in and just pop these guys just around as some added extra embellishments to kind of make the clusters a little bit bigger, because I don't plan on doing very much, if at all, embellishing. I might put a couple word phrases and such on the layout, like the lift has. But no, this is fun. This is fun. Okay, so that is good. Now up here, I'm going to start tucking a few of these guys in. And I do notice that up here in the lift, we got one little flower over there, and then we do have one that kind of runs off the page here. I'm going to add an extra guy with him, just to kind of jazz it up. We're going to stick this guy up here. And then I'm going to let it dry just so that the glue has time to, you know, adhere through the glitter glaze and chroma glazes. But yes, the chroma glazes dry very super ooper shiny, and then obviously the glitter glaze is very glitter. I know, that was like, you guys would have never guessed that. I know. Alright, let's see, we need to put one. I'm just kind of tucking them where I think they'll look the best. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry, kind of push it down just a little bit, see if I can get them to stick. I'm going to trim them off, and I will come back and I will pull out just a couple bits and pieces from that, the Hip Kit Club that I'm going to use. I'm going to pull out some of the wordy bits, so we'll come right back and we'll finish this layout. Alright, so I have finished everything. I have trimmed off the few flowers that needed to be. I went through everything and just pulled this little puffy. I basically went for colors that matched, in case you guys wanted to know. So this story, I didn't really see other than the title right here, and I didn't, you know, I don't have as much room, so I just put my title right over here. I've got a little word here. It says Sun-Kissed. This says nothing but good vibes, living in the moment, life can't get better, in our favorite place. And then I just tucked this hexagon us right under there. And I feel like, I mean, you can definitely see where my inspiration came from. You know, I did the strip, the cross, which I'm thinking I'm going to play around with that design, you guys, because I really like that. But I think that if you know, broadened this out a little bit like they did with the strips and made that full center cluster, But I really love the way this turned out. So don't forget to hop down below and check everyone else out. All the normal Friday gang will be listed, and then everyone who has joined us for the Mixed Media Frenzy hop. I just seen that didn't stick. Everybody that's joined us, and if you would like to play along or join in on the hop, we have one, like I said, at the end of every month. It's the last Friday of every month. We open it up to all our crafty peeps that want to play along. I will also have the Facebook group linked down below. Head on over there, share your work, and just join us for some good old-fashioned mixed media fun. So that's it for today. I will see you guys later with another video. Bye. Well, how come you guys didn't tell me that I forgot once again to add Nouveau Drops? So I did go ahead and add them. I put the pink on the pink, the orange on the orange, and the yellow on the orange, and I spread them all around the layout. So let's just give you a little close-up here. You can see what I've done. And now I promise that is it. Those will not be in the end photos, though, because I've already taken all of those. But that's going to do it, so don't forget to check everyone else out. And I promise now, bye.